Do you have to first speak about the premise of this, though?
I want to. Okay. Okay, I don't know how to explain it. Wait, are you recording?
Yeah, now it's recording.
Oh my god, okay, this was all just pointlessness. Okay, so I guess we're talking about how each of us thinks because we were thinking about whether or not we have an inner monologue. Okay, context set. That's done. Okay, so if I said the sentence, the storm is brewing on the horizon, like what goes through your mind?
I feel like I just focus on certain words.
Like which words?
I just thought about brewing because I love tea. like my mind is just like storm brewing, and that's all it like picks up. And then the other words it just like leaves behind.
Interesting. So you just see in your mind's eye like the word storm and the word brewing?
Yeah.
But do you see like an image associated with those or just the words?
I don't know. I don't think I saw an image. I think I just put like storm brew, and then that's just my mind processing it now.
Well, can you visualize, Meghana?
I don't know. I don't think so.
Wait,
like
so
I don't see.
Close your eyes and think of a house.
Now, obviously, I see a house.
Do you see a house? Can you see a house in front of you?
Yeah.
Okay, then you can visualize.
I can't do that. If I close my eyes and think of a house, I just am saying the word house, and that's it.
Oh, that's really weird.
You literally are just saying the word house?
Yeah, it's like, I'm like, oh, let me think of a house, and in my mind, I'm just like,
house.
If only I could see a house. I know I can't visualize. This is stupid.
But then if Lassie was like, visualize a house, can't you just like think of your like family house or something like that?
I literally, so there's this really great TikTok of this girl that explains the lack of visualization, and it basically just shows, I'm going to look this up actually, and then I'm going to send it to you all and you guys watch it. But basically, if I close my eyes, I literally see gray. No matter anything, I could be trying to think of something. I can't imagine somebody's face, right? It's like, I don't know what it's like I know what my parents look like, but if I close my eyes and think about it, I don't know what they look like.
Wait, I have this with smells, which I discovered recently, which is like if somebody says like smell the smell of chocolate chip cookies, like I know what that smell is because if it was in my environment, I would be able to identify it immediately, but I can't recall the scent. Like I can't bring the scent to my smell.
Can anyone do that?
Yeah, Tara can do it.
That's weird.
That is weird. I don't think that's a common, like...
Everybody watch this BuzzFeed video I just sent you.
Okay, I'm excited. Okay. If I told you to close your eyes and imagine your childhood bedroom, yes. Aphantasia, what a cool name.
I just found something out. I found out that I have aphantasia, and I thought it's something really normal, but it's not. So aphantasia means you can't see images in your mind. And I just found out that some people can see images in their minds. So we will test if you have aphantasia too. So close your eyes and imagine a red star.
Okay.
And now choose the number that best represent what did you see in your mind's eye from 1 to 6.
What?
If you saw nothing, like 1, you have aphantasia. Oh. And the crazy thing is, some people can see 6, like they can really see color. That's crazy.
Wait, which ones did you guys see?
6.
I also saw 6.
But I feel like I only saw 6 because I looked at the picture of the star and then I reimagined it.
Okay, you can still see it. Close your eyes.
Like, I can't tell. This is too meta for me.
You were supposed to close your eyes before you saw the red star.
No, because they said visualize a red star, right?
Yeah, so what did it look like when you visualized it?
Like, exactly the red star that they told me to visualize.
Okay, no, that's the point.
Is you're supposed to see that, but when I close my eyes, I see number 1. Like, I don't see anything. It's just gray.
Interesting.
It's horrible.
I was telling about this though, and he said that when like we were talking about like house, and he was like, I can I don't see, I only see gray, but I can like list the properties of a house. Like that's what happens
Yeah.
in his mind.
Yeah, exactly. Like I know a
Oh.
star has 5 points and all that shit. Like I know what a star looks like, right? But I
Mhm.
don't see it no matter what.
Very interesting.
So
Wait, Monique, I have a
horrible.
question. When you dream, do you dream in images? Like, do you
Yeah, I have
dream yourself?
I have super vivid dreams.
Mm.
Like they're crazy vivid. So it's
But
just
then
really
can't you
weird.
just dream about a red star?
Well, yes, I can dream about a red star, but it's like right now I can't. So it's like I
Oh.
can't daydream, right? If I had a daydream, it'd be like a book. So that's why I hate reading, because if I read, it's just a monologue in my head, and that's it. That's what reading is.
Mhm.
That's
So
very interesting.
it's
Is
just it baffles me that people can see vivid images, right? I don't know. It's very baffling.
Well,
So,
I
like,
feel
when
like
I
it's
said
not
that-
vivid. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I would
Maybe not vivid, but any image, anything.
interesting.
Whatever.
So like when I said that sentence, you just heard the sentence in your mind, and then you like had some associations on like what that sentence implies, right? Like there's like an ocean or like something, and there's like a horizon line.
Yeah, it's like I know that these are things
Right.
in theory, and I
Interesting.
can say the words. So, but that's it.
Huh.
Is there a difference though in people who can like visualize these things rather than doing like more word like associations?
So like what I see when I say that sentence, or like for any sentence, like I have I visualize very strongly. Like everything is visual.
Yeah.
So like I can't read a book and like I don't have an internal monologue. Like nothing is words in my brain. There's no
Yeah.
audio. It's
It's
all
just like a question mark, question mark, question mark.
yeah, exactly. That's what's
But do you
constantly
feel
running
like
through
that's
my mind.
debilitating to you, Monique, or it's just like the way it is for you?
Well, it's basically like organic chemistry is impossible. It's like there are certain things that just like rotations of stuff, you
Mm,
know? Like I
Oh.
can't when someone tells me to rotate stuff, it's like I guess I always get it wrong and it just like doesn't make sense to me, right? So there's a lot of stuff that yeah, and I guess you can't like I guess a lot of people like I won't talk about this cuz it's gross. But like
Wait, what?
It's okay. We can make this R-rated. We already our podcast is not
Adult
suited for
content
kids.
warning.
adult like I guess not safe for work, but it's like it's like people are having sex, like one of the things people are like, oh, I wasn't thinking about so and so while I was having sex with them. It's like I can't do that, right? It's like I have to think about what's going on in the moment, right? Because that's the thing, and it's like I never understood that because I was like, how can you not? It's like what would you be thinking about? But it's because people could be visualizing literally somebody else, right, while they're having sex with somebody else.
True.
So,
Or thinking about work.
you are
While you're having sex.
I mean,
I feel like I
hopefully
do
not
that a
for
lot.
you.
Like I feel like I'm not in the moment actually a lot.
Yeah, but I guess I have to be in the moment because there's nowhere else I could be unless I was just thinking about something else. But like the thinking is just words, right? It's not like it's actual.
That's true. So it's like you have to be in the moment, otherwise you're just words.
Or else I'm just talking to myself. So
Interesting. I guess
Interesting.
I
It's
do
not
that
that-
though.
debilitating though.
Yeah,
I've
you're a
lived.
very successful human being. So
I've
clearly-
survived.
I can see how that's nice though, because that if you're in the moment and you're not like off thinking about something else, you're focused.
I guess.
Does
Yeah.
it mean you're often in the moment? I actually wonder, maybe you could do like a study on like, is it easier to meditate if you have, I like how she said it. She said like aphantasia or something, right? I really liked how she said it.
Yeah. I don't know, I guess. I guess I've never tried to me it's hard to meditate. Because like when people meditate, they're like, picture a babbling creek or picture an ocean. But I can't do
Right.
that, right?
But
I'm
you
just-
can also picture nothing, right? Like you can just like think your thoughts, and then every time there's a thought and that's not your breath, you just like let it go.
But I guess that's boring. That's different.
Yeah.
I just can't do it because it's too boring.
That's fair.
Right, but I feel like
It
you
is boring.
visualized a babbling creek, then it would be more interesting.
That's true. Actually, I realized that I do this on my runs a lot.
Yeah, me too.
Like when I go on long runs, like the reason why I can go on the long runs is because I visualize something totally different. And that's why it's like actually pleasant. But my sister doesn't do that. She just keeps thinking about how her body's in pain the whole time. I don't know if that's a visualization thing or just like a fitness thing. But like I told her, like when she was like, why do you go on these long runs? I'm like, oh, just like think about other things. Like, so when I'm like hit like 15 minutes into my run, I just like start thinking about other things.
Like what? What do you think about while running?
Usually like lab.
But are you visualizing being in lab, or are you just like having thoughts that are not related to running?
No, I'm just having thoughts or emotions about like conversations, stuff like that.
Yeah, I guess like if I work out, it's like I wouldn't be able to work out outside because it's like I like to watch shows. So if you're like on the treadmill, like watching a show is. But other than that, I'd be like bored, and like your sister would just be thinking about how my body is in pain. So
does this make rewatching shows? This must make rewatching shows really nice because you like can't recall the visual information, right?
Well, I guess the thing is, it's like I remember if I see something, I'll remember. But granted, I forget everything about a show, so that's a different story. But that just might be my bad memory. But it's like I feel like if I go to a place, I can recognize the place. It's not like it's a weird. It's like my memories are there, but it's like if I wanted to be like I'm gonna close my eyes and just think about it, I can't.
Right.
But it's
if
like
I see it. I
they're not
can't,
stored
like,
visually.
consciously recall
Yeah.
like visuals.
Right. Like she can't generate them, but they're stored. It's like some sort of retrieval thing, I wonder.
Yeah, that's why I was wondering about the dreaming, because I mean, like if you can dream in images, it means that it's more like related to like your ability to consciously like bring up the images rather than just like being
Having
able
them?
to like see them in your mind's eye. Because like if you're dreaming, it's like still just in your head, right?
right.
But dreaming is actually a reprocessing, so it can't be a recall thing because dreaming is a reprocessing of the information that you gathered during the day, right?
Yeah,
And
but I'm saying like conscious versus unconscious.
Have any of you read this book, The Social Animal by David Brooks?
No, I don't.
I've heard
read,
of it.
But
You should you should try it. It's kind of about the like interplay between the conscious and unconscious. Yeah.
Sorry, Google heard you talk about that, and then it started talking randomly.
That's
oh my
terrifying.
You know?
Oh my god, that's really scary.
wait, the Google
Yeah,
on your phone or your Google Home?
Like the Google on my phone.
Oh, I see.
That is terrifying.
But we
Sorry to
already
interrupt.
know that Google listens in on everything that we say.
Yeah, that data is just not interesting, right?
What?
Except for the like one time in a million where it creeps you out.
Yeah.
But that
What were you
is
saying?
creepy, right? That's super creepy that it like listened and then it was like made a product suggestion based on something that you
Yeah.
said.
Oh no, because you said, "Have you heard about the social animal?" And then Google's like, "I have, because I'm a robot."
Wait, but I didn't say okay Google. Don't you have to like trigger it on a phrase?
I guess. I don't know. Sometimes you just.
I don't understand.
You triggered my other Google. Be quiet. I don't know. I guess sometimes it's like if you say these like weird things that you're right are products you can buy, Google will be like, "Oh, okay," and then start talking without you.
Wait, so if I said like buy Clorox bleach, did anything happen?
No.
No. Okay. What? That's bizarre. You would think buy it would definitely sync on, right? Like.
But can you actually buy things through the Google
I
app?
don't think so. It's not
Oh,
Alexa. Alexa, you can do that.
That's
Oh, I
true.
see.
Sometimes my Amazon does that.
But what were you saying about the book, Lasia?
Oh yeah. So the book is like, I mean, I'm not very far into it, so this may change, but just through the intro, the premise of the book is about how like unconscious, the interplay of conscious and conscious and unconscious mind, and how we're like primarily actually more ruled by the unconscious mind than we are by the conscious mind.
I mean, simulation, obviously.
Of course.
Yeah, but okay. So what's the unconscious mind? Is this
Like, I think it boils down to
100%.
like, have you ever, like, I was thinking about this the other day, right? I was like, what pieces of art and media have like really touched me in my life? And then I went back and reconsumed those pieces of art and media, and they like didn't produce the same reaction, right? Which like indicates that it isn't a property of the art or the media. It's a property of like some unconscious process in my brain, which was like a confluence of these factors at the time, more than it was like any rational processing layer. You know what I mean?
Oh, because you feel like you actively did not like it, like consciously like it in that moment, and it was an unconscious liking because of, I don't know, contextual stuff and stuff like that.
Yeah,
And now
like
when you
I'm
go
sure
back,
you can hit some table stakes like aesthetics or whatever, but for the most part, I would bet that things that like people are probably less consistent if you really took a poll on like, do you like this thing over and over again, and did a brain scan while they were liking it on like what that actually manifests in your brain as. But I don't know too much about it. I just started reading the book. But I would recommend it.
interesting. Yeah, that's true. People always talk about that, like what you unconsciously do versus consciously do.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, and the reason that I was thinking about this was like, so Christine's boyfriend, right? He's not like, we were talking about how Christine has this like monologue,
yeah.
and he doesn't, and he's like describes his view of the world as very like 0 and 1 oriented, like instinctual behavior is like very conceptualized, where he's like, okay, I am feeling like this way, and like, is that past certain thresholds, and like what is the actual appropriate response, and it's like much more mechanical.
He's a robot.
I mean, I don't think he's actually a robot.
Binary robot.
But he just like views the world in a much more mechanistic way, right? And I do think like it's interesting to me how everyone has a different way of conceptualizing and not visualizing, but like thinking about like various concepts. Because I guess I always thought everybody just thought the same way that I did, like the mechanically, you know.
Oh, I see.
But yeah, I don't know. I wonder where things like, actually I'm gonna look up this non-visualization. I wonder if it's like consequent, if it's like a learned behavior or if it's a biological behavior.
So I learned to not visualize.
Yeah, like maybe it's something like in your youth you just never thought would be valuable, and then so you just never developed the skill, and then it just like never manifested.
Oh.
Well, I regret it then.
Why? I don't know. It feels like a very unique way to view the world.
No, every time I think about it, it makes me so sad.
Oh.
Why?
It's not learned. It's like just you either like think that way or you don't.
It says in this article from Scientific American that it's unknown whether it's learned or not learned, but the earliest recorded case was in 1880.
Yeah.
This is very interesting. You shouldn't feel bad about it.
Just imagine if you couldn't visualize.
But I can't imagine not being able to visualize things.
Well, can't you visualize it and just visualize yourself?
No, because every time I try to visualize something, I visualize it, right? Like, it's like if you describe an image to me, I'll just like recreate it in my mind, you know?
Yeah, but what if you couldn't do that?
But I don't know how that would feel. Like, I can't.
It would feel like gray. It would feel like gray all the time. That's what it looks like.
I guess, but like so much of my thought process is wrapped up in the ability to visualize, right? Like your example of like, if I cannot think of a star and not visualize a star. Like, I don't even know how I would, like, I don't know what that would be. Like, I feel like this gives you like a higher level of conceptual abstraction in a weird way, because like you're remembering the abstract concept more than you're remembering the image, which is in some sense like pure. I don't know what pure, on what dimension pure, but like it's different, you know? Whereas I feel like when I see something, I'm just remembering that image of what that is. You know what I mean?
Yes, but then it makes me, if someone's like
More
draw a
abstract.
picture of a lamb, I can't do it. So
Oh,
I
you
would
know
just draw
what?
a weird animal with 4 legs.
But that is a lamb, right? Like,
Yes, but it doesn't look like a lamb.
But is that just because of the visualization fact, or is that because
I'm a terrible drawer. It's that one. But I blame it on my lack of visualization.
I'm sure it's harder. Yeah, it does seem like it would be harder to draw.
Yeah,
But
that's
also
true.
maybe it's not. Like maybe it's easier because you like can divorce the concept of what you're seeing. Like I bet it gets easier to like draw something from real life because you're just like looking at the thing and you're not putting any like opinion on the thing, you know?
I guess, yeah. Maybe. But
Yeah.
that's not me.
So Meghana, what do you see?
What?
Like when you think of concepts, like how do you think?
I don't know. I haven't really thought about it. I feel like sometimes I think like a squirrel.
How do you
What way?
Like I just like I don't know if this is the way I think about concepts, but I get like really like strongly focused on certain parts of like input, like things are like constantly being like input to me, like, you know, and I like pick up like 2 or 3 things and I feel like I think about that like obsessively,
Hmm.
but I don't know what that is. I don't know. And then sometimes now Monique's talking, and then like sometimes I feel like I just see gray sometimes too. But I think
Well, I think it's like according to this Wikipedia article about aphantasia, which is very sparse, but like it seems like people have like gradations of being able to visualize things.
Hmm. Yeah,
yeah,
in
and
her spreadsheet,
imagine it
those 6
must.
options.
That's true. That's true. It's probably like somewhere in there.
That's interesting that you fixate on certain concepts though. Because I feel like that doesn't happen for me. But that would speak to like quick processing, right? I
Yeah.
feel like I think a lot about like why does my brain do the things that it does? And
Yeah.
like how does it process information, right? Because your neural net is just like absorbing and then training into small vectors that are basically representational of whatever the concept is, right? But the like vector, like that's why Monique is like still able to recall things, is her vectors are just not oriented in the like, are not like relevant for the visual cortex neurons, right? Like those are not activated when memories are being created, or if they are, they're being activated to a lesser extent. Maybe, I don't know. I was pulling this out of my ass.
But like Monique still has memories though, so she's still generating them.
Yeah, but like less visually oriented, right?
Pretend. Yeah, that would make sense.
Yeah.
But does that just
Like, when
mean
you-
that your neural net is not picking up visual cues as
Or
much?
just not retaining them, I guess. Or like using them in order to like
Yeah.
I guess I have memories, but the memories are just like concepts, right? They're not
like yeah, like if you were to remember like I don't know, what's some thing that we
like I remember
like,
learning how to ride a bike. There we go. Like I remember doing that, but I wouldn't be able to like
Visualize it.
I remember who was there, I remember where I was. I have a vague idea of what it looks like, but that's just from photographs, right? Because I've seen so many photographs of it.
So like if you remember like going on vacation and stuff, like do you just like, because like for me when I'm like, oh, I remember that we were like in this hotel in India, I like play like a little movie in my mind of like things that I saw happening and like that kind of stuff, I guess.
Yeah, that's what happens to me too, is I just have like little movies going all the time.
I guess it's hard to describe because it's like I can't see the Taj Krishna, but it's this very vague kind of like I don't see anything, but somehow I know
I
what
think
it looks like.
You know? Yeah, I get what you're
Like, I
saying.
know what it looks like, but I can't visualize it. Like if I were to
Mm-hmm.
like if I was there was a lineup of spells and someone was like, pick out the Tosh Krishna, I could.
Yeah.
I'd be like, that's it. But I can't, like, I don't see it. It's really hard to describe.
No, I know what you mean, because I feel like that's similar to, like, you know when you have a dream and you know that everything, like, is embodying, like, a certain concept, or there's, like, people who you're like, I know that this person, like, is Meghna, but it actually doesn't, like, look like they look in life.
That never
I have dreams like this all the
like
time.
that. It's
Where I'm
What
like,
do I look like in your dreams?
but I don't remember. That's the thing. I was just like,
You
it's
know
like there
this-
will be people, and I'll be like, I know that that person, like, has this identity, but
yeah.
they don't, like, visually have that identity in my dream. If that
Like
makes
their face isn't there, but like their body, like what
no,
is,
it's just like,
am I an amorphous cloud? Is that what's going on?
yeah, like in retrospect, I can't remember what you looked like in the dream, and also in the dream, like, you just don't look like how you like. You're not like physically the person that you are in real life, but I know that it is like this person has like some specific identity.
Interesting.
Yeah,
But
that's
that
exactly
actually-
what it is.
That actually
exactly-
makes total sense. Because you should also read this book, Why We Sleep.
So I do really want to read that.
Yeah, I think I've recommended this book previously, but like it talks a lot about dreams as a layer to like process the activities of your day within your existing neural network, right? And that's why like when you wake up, like I don't know, I don't really fully recall now, but like there's something about how REM and NREM sleep like processes your memories that causes it to be really hard to like recall your dream when you wake up.
Yeah, that's why they tell you to write down your dreams, right?
But I've heard
Right,
that's
and
actually
like-
really bad for your sleep quality.
Oh, really?
I mean, who knows nowadays? Like anything, people can just make arbitrary claims nowadays, and someone will believe you. But I have heard that writing your dreams down, it's a good way to like start to lucid dream, you know, where you can like control your own dreams.
Mm-hmm.
But it's really bad for like maintaining your REM sleep.
Interesting.
Which kind of makes sense, right? Because if you can control your dream, then inherently you're not doing any memory processing, you're creating new memory, right?
Oh, if you like write it down and remember that dream.
Yeah, or like if you can go into a lucid dreaming state where you are in control of your dream universe.
Yeah.
Can any
Actually,
of you-
I have one dream like that. I remember only one dream from like my childhood, but it has stuck with me until now.
do you want to tell us about it, or is it traumatizing?
No, it's not. Well, I don't know. I know it's like exactly, I know what happened. Like it was while we were in St. Louis. My sister wasn't like born then, but it was like this dream where I looked outside of our apartment and there was this guy who was about to break into our apartment. And then he broke into the apartment and then I hid in the bedroom and then he like came in, broke in, like, you know, ripped all these books and stuff like that and then left. And then I feel like I remember waking up and then seeing that the books were ripped. And this has like always been like this is the only dream that I've had for like many years. But I'm still alive, so I think it's okay.
That's
I
quite
have dreams
creepy.
like this too, actually. Like those would also be like the kinds of dreams that I would
Like the really
still
traumatizing
remember.
ones.
Yeah, where like someone would break into your house like with a gun, and I would like hide in the in like the same specific closet, and I would always wake up like, at the exact moment that the person would like open the closet, and then I would just wake up.
Interesting.
I have never had a dream like this. All of my scary dreams involve like falling from things or like natural phenomena. I have a very strong recurring dream where I'm standing on a beach and there's a tsunami coming, and I can like recall all the details of this dream because I have it. It's like happens all the time, and I like keep learning new things about the qualities of this tsunami.
Yeah.
But then I always wake up right before it hits.
Do you still have recurring dreams? Like, is this a continuing recurring dream?
This is the only one I still have.
That's so interesting that you have a contiguous dream because I feel like I don't.
Dream I have?
What?
I have I have a recurring dream where I never graduated high school for some reason.
Oh yeah.
But I graduated college, and I have to go back to high school and finish senior year. But then when I go to high school, I don't know my locker combination, or my schedule. So then I'm late to all my classes. I never do my homework. I never do anything. But then I'm aware that I'm not doing anything, but I can't fix it. So I'm just in this nightmare of trying to finish high school without doing anything. And then I'm just kind of like weirdly stuck at school. It's horrifying.
That sounds horrible.
But this
Yeah.
sounds like an anxiety motivated dream.
Yeah, everything is anxiety motivated for me. Yeah. Everything.
Because I do have a lot of, especially when I feel like academically stressed, I do have a lot of dreams. They're not the same one like that Monique has where she goes back to high school, but I do have a lot of these, like, I didn't turn in like a second time and stuff like that.
I have those too.
You know? And I mean, it happened more at Caltech. It happened like the first year of med school a couple of times too. And then I woke up and I'm like, wait, I'm not at Caltech anymore. You know, stuff like that. Like,
yeah, that happens to me a lot where I wake up and like,
idea.
Where am I? That does happen a lot.
But those are the most realistic for me.
Yeah. Oh, interesting.
The most.
But do you have them a lot? Like, do you have them multiple times as far as you can remember?
I mean, I know they're triggered when I'm in like a high stress like when I was studying for step 1, I would have dreams like this all the time. I would have a dream where I like was late to step 1 and stuff like that.
Oh man.
And so like, and then I woke up, no. This is why I can't sleep well before like presentations or like, you know, anything like academically stressful. But I don't have what Monique has. It's not like the same thing every time, but it's like the general thing. And I think it's because it's like recreating something that like seems real, whereas a lot of the other dreams that I might have are so abstract and weird that I'm just like, I like know it's a dream, but like, you know.
Yeah, it's harder to get immersed because it doesn't feel something that could really be happening.
Right.
You know what? I think it's a hallmark of how stupid the United States education system is, that it's a universal thing that people have these stress dreams about high school, right? Like, that's fucked. Like, that should not be the most stressful experience. That should not be the thing that your brain constantly compares every stressful experience in your life to.
Yeah, that's
right.
True.
Like, that's so fucked.
Yeah.
I hate it.
But I don't know, maybe when we're like 40 or 50, we won't be thinking about high school anymore. It still is like relatively recent if you think about it.
That's true.
Yeah.
It's been 8 years.
What?
That's true.
It's been 8 years since we've been in high school.
Yeah, but we've also been alive for 26 years. So that's...
But when you were in high school, did you have dreams about being an 8-year-old? Like, I don't think so. They were more carefree.
No, in high school I had dreams about being in high school and also being late to stuff.
Right.
So I think it's consistent dream.
I mean, I have very few dreams about my early childhood.
Me too.
I have memories too. Like when we had this high school reunion and someone was like, I remember something from first grade. I'm like, I don't remember anything.
Yeah, me neither.
I remember stuff if someone like triggers a memory. Like if I like see something or like someone brings up something, I'm like, yeah, I remember that. But I can't remember things about my life like off the top of my head though.
Yeah, I only remember like vague bundles of information. And then like within that vague bundle, if someone's like, hey, do you remember this one thing that happened? Sometimes I can recall it.
Yeah. And I guess you have to have that memory reinforced too. Like, I feel like I remember things that we took pictures of because it's like, it's reinforced. You see it over and over again and you're like, same with like college memories. It's like only the stuff that like we have Facebook images for do I remember really. And then other stuff people will bring it up and I'm like, I had no idea that happened, you know.
But
which makes sense though.
Universal experience things, right? Like, did you guys ever do that thing when you would drive in the car when there were like telephone poles and there's wires between them and you make like a little guy and he like jumps from pole to pole?
Yep.
Right? Like, I have a very strong memory of that, but I don't know why. It's not like a traumatic experience. It's not like an experience I revisit very often.
Like, you remember doing that?
Yeah, but I like strongly remember like making this little guy and like having him jump from pole to pole.
I in fact forgot that I used to do that until you just
We do what?
Really?
What is this?
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Did you not do this? There's like, you know when you have two telephone poles and then there's like a wire between them like this, right? So like when you drive by them, you can like make a little dude and then like make him from pole. Imagine like a little guy and then like make him jump from pole to pole.
I used to do it
my God.
though instead of not.
I never did that. Sorry.
I can't visualize, so I didn't do that.
No, No, like you can do it with your hands too. I used to do it with my hands when I was really young, is I would like put a little finger and then make him jump.
Oh, I used to do the running thing where I would just run out and then jump.
Yeah. See, and like I feel like it's a very universal thing that people do that and they remember doing it.
That's interesting because I
still never.
It never registered to me as something that would be universal. I just was like a game that I made up when I was like staring out the window one day in my car, like.
Did you guys ever play the raindrop game where like, you know how in the backseat, this one is a little rare, but I have met one person who's done it. There's like that big black bar, right? And then there's raindrops on your window. And if you're driving, a few raindrops will like come to
like they'll move backwards or
yeah. And so I used to like imagine that the bar was like a train and all the raindrops were like people rushing to get to the train.
Wow.
I would do it like
your imagination was wild.
Not exactly like that, but I would just like find multiple raindrops and then like race them against each other to hold some point,
Yeah. Oh my god. I used to make little like lives for the raindrops because there'd sometimes be like a big one and a little one, and be like, that's the mom and this is the baby, and they're like going to the train.
Oh my god.
Good times. I miss
that. Does sound like
raindrops instead of thinking about work.
That does sound very exciting.
But yeah, Megan, you never did the telephone pole game?
I mean, as you can tell, my memory is really poor, so if I did do it, I probably don't remember it. I definitely don't remember doing that. But, I mean, I might have done it.
Fair.